right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So the prejudging for the 2025 Arnold Classic Physique Division just wrapped up. And the first call-out was not really surprising, but the order of the guys in the first call-out was. So in the first call-out, you had Matt Grego, Michael DeBull, Wesley Vissers, Mike Sommerfeld, and Logan Franklin. So these are the guys that we've been talking about a lot over the past few weeks. These are the guys that have been posting the most impressive updates. These are the guys that on paper were the favorites going into this show, maybe with the exception of Logan Franklin, who was the surprise of this entire show. Logan absolutely blew me away here, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. So, like I said, I wasn't surprised by this first call-out. These are the guys that we expected to see in that top group, but the order was surprising. So the order they called these guys out in, this was just kind of how it was. So Mike Sommerfeld was in the center just based off how they called him out. This was without moving anybody around yet. Now, the main move that was surprising here was as this first call-out progressed, they ended up moving Wesley from a more center position to the outside of this call-out. And then there was another call-out, excluding the top two guys, who we'll also talk about in a minute, that Wesley was in. So it's almost certain based on this first call-out, that second call-out, that Wesley looks to be out of the conversation for even the top three. And it looks like at this point, Wesley, who is your defending Arnold Classic champion, is going to be giving up that title this year to somebody else. And in my opinion, based on the call-outs that he was in, based on the way those call-outs went and his positioning, Wesley looks like he's probably going to be in fifth place. I think that's probably a safe bet based on the way they had him move. So they moved Wesley to the outside in the first call-out, but they moved Matt Grego to the inside. I think Matt Grego and Michael DeBull are looking to be probably 3 and 4. I would go with Matt Grego in third, Michael DeBull in fourth. So with Wesley, though, it looks like it turned out to be true. What I talked about in yesterday's video, his coach, boss of Outlaw, Stefan, was saying that Wesley was sick this week. He was throwing up, he was losing weight, and he just wasn't doing well. And I said in that video that typically when a coach kind of makes that pre-excuse for why someone might not look good, like a day before the show, that's almost always in bodybuilding not a good sign. And that turned out to be true because I think Wesley did look off here. I don't think he looked, certainly not how he looked at last year's Arnold, and I think he looked kind of on par with how he looked at the Olympia where he placed 8th, and maybe even a tad bit worse than how he looked at the Olympia at this show. And this is what was most surprising to me because I think everybody thought you were going to have your reigning Arnold Classic champion, Wesley Vissers, against the top guy at the Olympia, Mike Sommerfeld, who was top 2 to Chris Bumstead. I think everybody kind of thought that was going to be the battle, and that almost certainly at this point after prejudging is not going to be the case, which brings me to Logan Franklin, who was also on the inside next to Mike Sommerfeld in that first call-out. Logan, to me, was the standout of this show. Logan looked incredible. Like I said, he kind of blew my mind here. And I can say this now. Logan actually said to me weeks ago, he said, don't even put me in your Arnold Classic prediction video because I want to be so good and surprise people so much with how I'm going to look. I don't want them to see it coming. And then in the weeks leading up to the Arnold, we were talking about how good Logan looks and how these updates were so impressive and how maybe in Logan's case, we have to throw out that previous Olympia placing as an indicator of how he's going to place at the Arnold because Logan was 14th at the Olympia. So on paper, he was kind of out of the conversation here. There was a bunch of guys in this lineup that placed ahead of Logan at the Olympia that were in that first call-out. So Logan is kind of also proving that point here too, that the Olympia isn't necessarily an indicator of who's going to win the next show, although it's kind of a good indicator to use because past placings are sometimes pretty accurate. And I even said the last time that we talked about Logan, maybe in Logan's case, he's one of those guys where we just throw out that past Olympia placing, and that might not matter here because this looks to be the best Logan that we've ever seen. And Logan really proved that here because the top 2 call-out included Logan. Logan is in the conversation not only for top 3, which was his best placing ever at the Arnold back in 2021, but he's in the conversation now for the win against Mike Sommerfeld in the top 2 call-out. And I actually love this top two because they're two very different physiques. And like I've said in previous videos, I feel like 2025 is going to be the year where they redefine and set the tone for what they want for classic physique now that Chris Bumstead is gone. Chris Bumstead was the standard. He was Mr. Olympia. Now he's out, and they're going to find the new guy. Who's the new standard? Who's going to embody what we want in classic physique? And with the Arnold being the first big show of the year, with a lot of the same judges that they have at the Olympia, the guy that wins the Arnold, I feel like, is going to set the tone for what the judges want after Chris Bumstead to be the standard in classic physique. And this top two is two very different physiques. If you look at Mike Sommerfeld, from a bodybuilding standpoint, he's more developed than Logan. He's got more muscle on his frame. He's a little bit more filled out. He's a little bit more dense. He's shorter, but he's still got that classic look. He's still got that V-taper, that nice small waist, all those good things you want from a classic physique guy. But then in Logan Franklin's case, Logan is a taller guy. He's got a little bit more of a streamlined physique, not as dense or as wide as Mike Sommerfeld, but he's got a lot more detail. I feel like his conditioning was ahead of Mike's here. And I feel like as far as a classic look with those good classic lines, when he hits those poses and the way his physique pops, although being smaller than Mike from a muscle mass standpoint, I feel like Logan is more of that classic look that I feel like so many people like to see. And again, I do feel like this is the best Logan Franklin we've ever seen. And even though Mike looked really good here as well, I still want to say that Logan was the guy that I was most impressed by because A, he did exactly what he said he was going to do. B, a lot of people didn't have him in this conversation. And C, this is going to be probably his best placing ever, aside from winning, whatever pro shows he would win to qualify for the Olympia. This is a big deal. And Logan kind of came back from behind all the way to top two. And I'm excited to see what happens here. Personally, my eyes were drawn more to Logan's physique just because his physique was popping so much with that detail and that condition. As he posed, I felt like my eyes were drawn more to him. But like I said, if you look at it from a bodybuilding standpoint, Mike is a little bit more complete. So it kind of depends which way the judges want to go with this kind of subjective apples and oranges top two physique comparison. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who do you guys have winning? What is your top two? I think it's going to come down to Mike and Logan. Honestly, if I had to pick one, I'm not saying this is the result, I would pick Logan. I think in third place is probably going to be Matt Grego, fourth place Michael DeBull, and fifth place probably Wesley Vissers. But top two, almost certainly at this point, will be one or the other, Mike Sommerfeld or Logan Franklin. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that bell notification icon if you have not already. And as always, I love you guys, appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at Nick Strength Power. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.